Hey guys, this is Terrence Ellison, and I want to talk to you today about checking out our channel. The channel is called Better Life Today Network. Now, you might say, what is Better Life Today Network all about? Here's what it's all about. It's my endeavor, and our group is to really want people to get a better life. But guess what? See, you don't get a better life at one time. You get it one day at a time. And so what we want to do is to share with you each and every week with different content to help you have a better life each and every day. See, because you need to understand that God loves you and he cares about you and he wants you to have a better life. He's not trying to judge you. He's not trying to do all the things that people have told you. Listen, I always say this. See, God's trying to get things to you. He's not trying to take things from you. See, that's why we want you to understand that you can have a better life each and every day. We say it like this. You can have a BLT. Have a BLT on us. You can have a BLT on us if you will tune in every time we come and share with you throughout the week. We're going to share different programs and content to truly change your life so that you can have a better life each and every day. That's our endeavor. And I want to tell you, see, it's not going to happen all at once, but it'll happen day by day by day as you receive the information, the insight, the revelation, the illumination of the teaching that we're going to share with you through this program. This is how you're going to have a better life each day. Hey, check us out. Hey, folks, I want to come to you today with a word that I think it'll help you. It'll change your life. See, I know it's something that we do or we've been doing now these days is using the word monetizing. Monetizing meaning to take something and put a value on it. In other words, it'll bring value to you, finances and so forth. And so we want to say to you how to monetize your talent. See, how do you monetize your talent? You ever thought about that? See, because I believe every person has a talent. Everybody has a talent. And you want to stay tuned to listen to some insight on how to take your talent and bring it to a place where it produces value to you. So we want to get into this and we want to share with you today some insight on how to monetize your talent. I want to talk to you today about a particular story in the Bible. See, I believe the Bible is a book that is truly a book to help us in our everyday life. I say this, and I don't mean to be in any way to come against any group or any other denomination and so forth. But many times when we look at the Bible, we don't really look at the Bible in the way I believe God wants us to. That it is a book where God has given us life lessons, lessons to make our lives, watch this, better. That's what its book is all about, is to make our lives better. And if we can take these lessons that are in the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament and so forth, and really start to look at the Bible as a way of saying, I'm going to extract principles and extract insights and so forth out of the Bible to make your life each and every day better. Well, there's a really awesome story that Jesus talked about. He talked about this man. And talked about this man who had a business, you see, and he wanted his business to grow. So what he does is this. He gets, I believe, three of his probably best workers, and he goes on a long journey and he brings them into an area where his business, watch this, could have an opportunity to grow. I like this. I'm going to tell you why I love this particular story. Because, you see, I want to show you something. I want to show you this. I was thinking about this. See, we in our society, we think that it has to be uh, fighting against one another, that we always necessarily competing with each other. And don't get me wrong, a little healthy competition isn't bad. But you see, I want you to understand there is enough on the planet that everybody could be able to have a good life, be able to increase. See, we actually think that only a certain percentage of people are to have wealth or to be able to be well off. Like, not every one of us can have, watch this, what we need in life to be able to pay our bills, to be able to enjoy our family, and so forth. I really believe that kind of thinking, that only a certain percentage can have enough or more than enough, is really the wrong thinking. I do. I believe there is enough resources on this earth to take care of everybody on the planet. Now, you might say, why do you believe that? Why do you believe that, Terrence? Because you see, God is not just a judge, he's a father. And what father doesn't want to make sure that their children have everything they need? So why would it not be that God wouldn't put everything on this planet for every human being to be able to enjoy their lives? See, because that's the wrong teaching. The wrong teaching is to teach people that there's only a certain group of people, there's only a certain percentage that can be successful. I believe that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. And I'm here to give you the truth. And the truth is that each and every person, God has put a talent on the inside of every human being. Every person got something. They got something. They got something that if they learn how to work it, they can monetize it, and it can bring great value to you. See, look at this man. When he wanted to increase, when he wanted his business to increase, what did he do? He took three of his workers, servants, workers, and he says, I'm going to give you some talents so that you go out, and I put it like this way, you go out and do business. See, now watch this. If he was thinking only a certain percentage, then he would be concerned or afraid to expand, because he would be like, I want all of it to come to me. But real expansion, watch this, is to share the wealth. Here's the term. I like this term, where this is a new term that we use today. So everybody can eat. See, everybody's supposed to eat. That's really what the kingdom of God is all about, is that we all get a chance to eat. Not just this group, not just that group, but we all get a chance to eat. In other words, we all have the opportunity to grow, to develop, to be able to increase, to be able to move forward, to be able to prosper in our lives. See, so in this story here, it says it's also like a man going off on an extended trip. And he called his servants or his workers together, and he delegated responsibilities. And to one he gave $5,000, to another $2,000, to a third $1,000, and depending on their abilities, then he left. See, one translation says talents. Now, it's interesting because a talent in the time was in reference to money. But I thought that's interesting how we call talents today abilities or gifts. In those days, it was related to money. See, because your talent is really is supposed to produce money. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to create for you value, something of value that you can be able to trade and be able to trade, and it's to be able to grow. Let me say that to you. Do you know what something is of value? How do you determine something to be of value? Here it is, because I think it's important. You need to hear it. See, anything that is of value has two elements. Ready? It can increase and it can multiply. It can increase and it can multiply. Do you know why human beings are valuable? Because we have the ability to what? Increase and multiply. Am I right about that? See, we have the ability to increase and to multiply. Oh, can I show you another little thing? See, something that is of value. Watch this. The value of it is cannot be only by itself. See, what produces value is when it partners with something else. Mm. Let me give you an example. It's really a principle of law. Hydrogen by itself is not valuable. But hydrogen mixed with what? H2O, oxygen, produces what? Water. See, then water becomes valuable because it has, watch this, it is comprised of what? Two elements. These two elements come into what? Partnership. Just like the male and the female. When they come together, they have the ability to what? Multiply. And because you have the ability to what? Multiply, it is of what? Value. A seed by itself is not valuable. It only becomes valuable until it's what? Planted into the ground. So the seed and the ground has to what? Go together to produce what? To produce fruit. See, that's how you know it is of value. Oh, I just taught you guys one principle of why your talent is not being monetized, because it needs a partner. It needs a partner. See, without a partner, that's why it's not valuable. See, the talent by itself doesn't produce value. That's why a lot of times you like, well, my little old talent, what can it do? Because it don't have no partnership. You need a partner. You need another element. You see, how can these two, watch this, two come into what? Agreement, agreement. And when that agreement takes place, what happens? Here comes what? Production. Here comes. That's why, watch this, many of us don't have what we need because we don't have the right partner to our talent. Ooh, did I not just drop something on you? See, I will tell you, the Bible, I think, is fascinating. Many of the commandments has to do with how we relate to each other, how we operate. You know why? See, now I want you to look at it from a different perspective. When it says, "Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not bear false witness," do you realize the ultimate reason is so that we can be able to stay in partnership with each other, so that we can connect and bring about what we call synergy, and synergy always produces a great outcome. See, when we treat each other in a way that is disrespectful and we come against each other, what does it do? It kills partnership. It kills the ability for your talent to be able to grow and to develop and watch this and produce what? Value. See, to produce value. See, because every talent, gift, ability has to have another partner with it. It has to be able to work with something else to be able to produce. To be able to produce. See, me and my wife, we're going to talk about this. This is why a lot of married couples don't produce stuff. Because what you think is that you think it's a competition. Your household should never be a place of competition. It should never be a place. It should be a partnership, a place of agreement, so that, watch this, so that we can have what? Good outcome. We can monetize our abilities together because we put them things together like hydrogen and oxygen, which produces water. Like the seed and the ground. You notice They need each other. The seed by itself is just seed. Am I right about this? Am I right? Isn't it just seed, y'all? It's just seed. But it needs ground for it to produce. See, and it's deceptive. Woo. When we think we don't need the other person. Deceptive. See, this man knew if he wanted his business to grow, that these three individuals, he had to partner with them. See? Do you see that? Do you see that part of your success is through relationship? Relationship is important because success comes through connection. Through connection. These three couldn't be successful without, as they say, the master or the boss. But the boss couldn't expand without them. See the connection? Your talent, your talent, your ability depends on your connection. Let me show you something. Let me get into this. The master went off in verse, and it says here in verse number 19 and 21. It says, "See, after a long absence, the master of these three servants came back, settled up with them. To one he gave the 5, to the other he gave his master commanded and said, good job, because he took it. To the other he gave 2. But I want to show you something. Going back, I want to show you. It says he gave them depending on their abilities. Then he left right off. The first servant went and doubled the master's investment. The second did the same. See, I like this word, investment. See, they took what he gave them, and they what? Invested. One says investment. Another translation says they did business. Another point says they went to work. What did they do? They took what he had given them and they put it out there, and they started working what he had given them. He gave them this talent, and they took it and they invested. To invest means you put it out there. You have to take a step of faith, and you got to put it out there, and you got to let it go to work. I was saying this in one place. I was saying how see whatever God gave you, you got to put it out there, and you got to make it go to work. You got to work what you have, work what you have where you're at. Work what you have where you're at. See, stop saying to wait until you get to a certain point or a certain place to work what you have. You work with what you have wherever you're located. Let me give you an example. Someone says they have the ability to act. They know how to act. They're dramatic and so forth. See, you don't start acting when you get into a major motion picture or some major TV show and so forth. No, you work wherever you are. You work with where you are. You find a place. You find a place. It may be in some local, behind the scenes, drama place. You go and say, hey, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start working in my acting ability. And nobody may even see you, so forth, but you got to work with what you have. You work what you have where you are. See, you don't wait until you get to a big place to work what you have. You start wherever you are, because you got to take what you have in you, that talent, that ability, and you've got to start working. You have to start working that thing out of you. Watch this. You got to work it out of you in somebody. You got to work where you are. See, that's the mistake that people make. There is a proverb that says, despise not small beginnings. I realize why that is a powerful statement. Because what it is that we want to wait until we get to a bigger platform to work what we have. You got to work where you are. Sometimes whatever you have, you got to work it in your house. You got to work it in your bedroom. You waiting until some huge major publishing company comes along and says, hey, I'll give you a deal to write a book. No, you start writing the book now. I don't have no deal. Nobody knows who I am. So what? Work what you, watch this, work what you have, where you are. See, when you do that, what you're doing is you're doing like these individuals here in this scripture. They started working what they have, where they were. See, the one with the 5, he started working immediately. He started investing all 5 of his talents. The one with the 2, he started investing all 2 of his talents where he was. And it says, here's what it says. It says, the master or the owner took a long time to come back. And when he came back, he settled up. And the one, he said, who gave 5 says, show him how he had doubled his investment. He took the 5 and he doubled it from 5 to 10. The owner says, hey, you did a great job. Job well done. From now on, be my partner. Oh, I like that. See, that's what it says. From now on, be my what? Partner. See, he qualified. He says, oh, I'm moving you from servant to partnership. You're no longer a servant. You're now a partner because you learned the lessons that I taught you on how to invest and to work, which I gave you. Watch this. Then the servant with the 2 showed how he also had doubled his master or the owner's investment, and his master commanded him, good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner. Oh, I like this. He said, now I want to show y'all something. See, I want to show you something. First of all, notice that the person with the 5, he had 5. He had more talent than the person with the 2. I like this. You know why I like this? Because the one with the 2 could have said, well, why didn't you give me 5? It's not fair. Notice he didn't get jealous with the person who had the 5. He didn't become jealous. He didn't become envious. He didn't do any of that. He took what he had and he worked it. See, that's another thing that holds people back. See, because I want to tell you something. You don't ever look at what someone else has, or hey, they are where they are because they got this. See, you can't spend time on that. You can't spend time on what somebody else has, or they had a better start than you, or that a particular system is more favorable to them than it is to you. Because sometimes it is like that. Sometimes it just is. See, this is why I like this text. You know why I like this text? See, because I want to tell you something. I'm not negating. I am in no way. I'm a black man in the United States of America. And I'm not negating that being a black person in the United States of America is a step behind. It just is. It is. I'm not negating that. Those are facts. But you see, what I want you to understand about, watch this, truth is this, is that that when you recognize what God gave you, what he put on the inside of you, watch this. You can't worry about what somebody else has because it's just designed to stop you and for you to pay attention that they got more than you do. See, because there's sometimes in life is just not fair. And we don't have to get into all of the minutia of why one group has more than the other. What I'm here to do is to get your life turned around because you can't focus on that. Your focus is, what did he give me? What talent do I have? And I want to monetize it. See, because when you monetize your talent and you get that thing to work, you're going to set up the next generation that comes after you. They're going to have it even better. And eventually, I'm kind of going a little ahead of myself. Eventually, you're going to make up. We're going to make up. See? We're going to make up the time. See, you can't focus on that. That's my whole point. Don't focus on that. Because focusing on that, guess what it does? It is non-productive. And it gets you caught up in a cycle that sometimes your mind can't get out of. I can't focus on that. And here's the beauty. I'm going to throw something at you. When you have God in your life, he makes up all the difference. He makes the difference. See, I can't focus on that. I got to focus on what he gave me, the talent. Because I got to monetize my talent. And I monetize my talent by recognizing two things. One, my talent need a partner. Two, I got to invest my talent. That means I got to use it. I got to use it no matter where I am. I got to use my talent no matter where I am. See, I can't wait until I get to this platform and that platform and this platform. I got to use it where I am. And when I use my talent where I am, what happens is, guess what I'm doing? I'm investing. See? You give your talent the ability to what? To increase and to multiply. Isn't it interesting when you hear people's story? Here's what you hear. People will say to you, how many times I've seen this with actors who we see them do some phenomenal, like a phenomenal part. They may even get nominated as for an Oscar. And then when you listen to them, they'll sit there and say, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. And you're like, huh? See, you didn't know, but they were utilizing what they had. And they were in off-Broadway productions. They were in these little commercials. And it's funny because now that they're at a much larger platform, all of a sudden, something 25 years later, you go back and say, hey, isn't that so-and-so? They had this little small part that was somewhat insignificant, but guess what they were doing? They were investing. They had put their talent out there. And eventually, because they kept putting it out there and putting it out there, guess what it did? You know what it did? It eventually paid off. And what a lot of times, what a lot of us do is we're waiting. We're waiting. See, I'm going to talk about that in the next lesson. See, like the man with the one talent, this is what he did. He took it, he dug up a hole, he dug a hole, and he threw it in there. And he said, and he had all kinds of reasons. We're going to get into that. See, he was waiting. He didn't want to lose it. He was waiting. What were you waiting on? See, and that's what a lot of times we do. We're waiting on something instead of using, watch this, what's in you wherever you are. Wherever you are. Let me help you. You know why a lot of times we don't want to use what we have? Because we're chasing money. See, hustlers do stuff for money. Let me tell you how it really works. Here's the funny part. They say 90-something% of businesses, of people that go in business, start a business, and their motive is to make money, end up failing. End up failing. When you look back, watch this, at corporations, major companies like Ford, Lincoln and Ford, Quaker Oats, you go back and look how their start, the founder didn't go in it for money. They went in it or figured out how they could service people. See? How they can utilize their talent. That's why we're going to talk to you about don't chase money, but let money chase you. See, a lot of times you don't use what you have because you're too busy wanting to hustle. How can I make money? How can I make money? See, if you go about just working your talent, working that thing, it'll increase. It'll multiply. It'll grow. Because the motive is to, watch this, here's the motive, is to make other people's lives better. See, that's the whole mission of our channel. You can have a better life today, a BLT. That's what we want to do, so that you can have a better life. See, if you go in it for that reason, I want to tell you, it'll multiply. It'll grow. It'll grow faster than you even thought it would grow because you got the right motive. I want to give, I got to tell y'all this, but you got to come back next lesson. My mentor said this to me, and he said, years ago, he said, work your vision. And I was frustrated because I didn't see certain things. It wasn't that God wasn't breathing, that we didn't work hard. I had certain expectations. My expectations were wrong. See, my vision wasn't clear. And I didn't work the vision. Watch this. I was working for the organization to be profitable, for financial prosperity. And what I realized is that it messed me up. I'm out of time, y'all. Oh my goodness. Y'all gotta come back. I'm telling you, I got more. You don't want to miss it. I used to say this, same time. You remember, this is going to show you my age. Same bat time. Same bat day. That's an old thing, Batman. Old thing. You got to come back. Check it out next week. Hey, I'm Terrence Ellison. I'm your boy, your life coach, your pastor, your prophet. I'm all that to minister to you each and every week so you can have a better life today. See you next week.